To define what work-life balance means to you. Paper, you're on leave, but in reality you're not on leave. Like, you're entitled to leave for a purpose. Take your leave. Hey loves, and welcome to my channel. It's your girl Chiamaka once again here. What's up? How are you guys? How are you guys faring? What's the job, what's work like? What is the job market like for those of us who are entry level? How have your applications been like? Have you been getting? Thank you for your interest. Congratulations. What has been going on? Let me know in the comment section. Now, today we're going to talk about tips for balancing your personal life and your work life. I know it's something that is very difficult irrespective of the country you're in, especially when you have a demanding job, right? But yeah, so together we're going to talk about tips that would help us balance our personal and our work life, right? If there are other tips along the way, don't worry, just drop a comment in the comment section and we'll continue the video from then. Anyway, if this is your first time stumbling on my channel, please click the subscribe button here and also share my video. Now, if you're a returning subscriber, I love you guys. Now let's get this video started. On my list to be prioritized and set boundaries. Of course, you need to prioritize what's important to you, what's critical to you, as it has to do with your personal life and your work life, because believe me, at this phase everything is important, especially at work. Everybody's task is important. Every single thing is important to you at face value, but when you calm down, you realize that this can wait, this can't wait. Same with your personal life. There's certain things that can't wait, but if you don't look through them, you think that, oh, don't worry, I'll just get to that later on, right? So set clear boundaries also with your employer, with your colleagues, with your family. Like, you want to make it known that, like, you want to be conscious of the fact that you're an 8 to 5er. You want to clearly define work hours and stick to them. One thing to define what your work hour is, and it's another thing to actually stick to those work hours. I'm not saying do not do extra time, that's a different thing, but I'm saying be conscious of the fact that you're an 8 to 5er and your work is 8 to 5. That way it will give you time to do other things, because believe me, that task you're trying to work on till 1 a.m. in the morning, sometimes those things can actually wait till the next day. There are times when it can't wait, but there are times when it can wait. And if you're doing it every day, it means that you're just working around the clock and assuming that everything is critical, right? Some of them are just important, like it's something you can do when you've slept and you've woken up from sleep, so that you have time to spend with your family. But we just feel that, no, this thing is important, it's critical, I need to do it, and you keep taking on. That way you are working 24 hours 7 days a week, right, without realizing that. Okay, the second one would be try to avoid excessive overtime. Now, we know overtime is something you can almost not put aside, or you can almost not do. Yeah, but when it becomes excessive, that's where the problem is. Like consistent overtime, working long hours, it's not just about the work you're doing. It's not about the fact that you're using your personal time. It's about burnout. So even if you keep working overtime for an extended period of time, right, it makes you burn out. And once you're burnt out, what do you want to do? You want to rest, you want to sleep. That way that's eating into your personal time for family, time for friends. So you do not have any other time except work and recharge and work. And believe me, this will keep you sane. When you're able to manage both lives, you are going to be a sane person. Okay, so another one is learn to say no. Learn to say no. There are times when you just have to say no. I know that saying no is one of the most difficult things to say, and we really do not talk about how difficult it is to say no to people, especially at work, because you don't want to come off as that employee that isn't given their all. You don't want to come off as that person that isn't dedicated to their work, because when you say no, the first thing anybody will try to do is try to box you and make you feel like you're not giving your all, you're not doing enough, stuff like that. Yeah, but you have to learn to say no. So set limits at work, set limits for yourself. You're not just saying no to colleagues, you're also saying no to using your personal time, to using work time for personal stuff, right? You're also saying no to yourself, right? So set that boundary, set that limit, learn to say no. So don't overcommit yourself to work or personal obligations that leaves you overwhelmed, like something that will leave you completely tired and you're thinking about your life. I think one of the reasons why we get so burned out at work is you put in a lot of time, and sometimes you do not see as much result as you ought to see. Prioritize tasks that align with your goals and your values, things that so your goal for the week, your goal for the day, and all of that. Prioritize those tasks even for your personal life, right? There are certain things that makes you feel alive. There are things that make you feel like you. Imagine if you're an extrovert and you're working 24 hours trying to do something. If it's for a short period of time, maybe for a project or for something, right? You feel you don't get too overwhelmed because you know that there's light at the end of the tunnel. But when it becomes your normal life, it's no longer life at the end of the tunnel. It's the fact that the tunnel is already here, right in front of you, and there's just absolutely nothing you can do about it, right? So it's very important that try to find that thing that makes you happy, try to do those things. So the thing about saying no is about you being selective about where you channel your energy into. So where you invest your time and where you invest your energy. You don't want to be doing the wrong thing at the right time and the right thing at the wrong time. Now, it's even much, I would say it's for people who have kids, right? It's very important that you spend time with your kids because of course it's something that should be important to you, right? And you want to make out that time. You want to be part of their life. So it's important that you set those boundaries and those priorities. Now for younger people like myself who are married, it's so easy. Like I can remember once upon a time, yeah. So I go to work. I resume work even before 8, right? Work all day. I come home, and the first thing I do when I come back, sometimes I don't even shower. I continue with work. I'm even most likely coming back from work with my I'm in a meeting on my way back from work, or taking a call or something in the boss. Anyway, I'm in a meeting all the way back from work. I get home, I continue to 10, 11, 1, and then again same cycle back to work, right? So you kind of get engrossed. Why? Because you do not necessarily, especially if you live alone, you do not necessarily have how do I put it, you do not necessarily have other things like critical, like you don't have something intentionally dragging you off, right? What I mean is for people who have kids, it takes like there's someone around you to sort of distract you. Then you will not say, oh, you're in my space, or you're pushing the kids away, or you don't just come back early. You feel guilty once in a while or regularly. But for people who are single, it's you yourself and yourself, especially if you're an introvert, right? And what it just simply does is it makes you burnt out, right? At some point you're just going to be losing your mind, and you will not be able to pinpoint why you're losing your mind. That's why it's very important. Like if you have to say the no, say it loud and say it clear. And there's so many ways to say no. Actually, there's so many ways to say no at work. Funny how sometimes you do not have the bandwidth to take up more tasks, but because you want to be that employee, you are saying no to everything. And one thing I've noticed, depending on your place of work, sometimes it doesn't even relate to you, but one way or the other, that deliverable finds itself to you. You need to be able to speak up for yourself at work, and you do not have the bandwidth. Is that you do not have the bandwidth, right? So there's this thing people usually do and say, why can't I get it in 2 days? I'm sorry. Or why aren't you saying tomorrow when you're asked to give a timeline? Explain that it would affect other deliverables you have, other timelines, other deadlines that are close. Because what I've realized is really everybody claims that their deliverable or their task is urgent in the office, but sometimes when you look at it critically, you realize that not all of them are critical. Some of them are important, some of them are urgent, some of them can wait a few days and nothing will happen. Like it would even raise an eyebrow, right? Even to the person who is requesting, it's not urgent, so to speak. So it's for you to be able to commit. I think it's important that when you say this, you let them know that whatever thing you're working on, it will affect that timeline, so there can be a swap or a change. But also, when you're giving a timeline, try as much as possible to always stick to it. That way it keeps your reputation intact. So when you're telling them that, oh, I can get this to you tomorrow, I can get it to you in 3, 4, 5 days, they understand that it would come to them because it's something you do. You are not a promise and fail kind of employee. You are a performer. Right? You promise and you deliver. It's very important, right, for you to have that balance. Now also, you need to understand your capacity. How much work can you do based on complexity, based on complexity, based on number of tasks and all of that. How much work can you actually do based on your skill level? Because you have tasks that are a bit above your level, which means that you might have to make more research, spend more time researching, finding out how to best do that task before you even do the task, right? So it means that task will take you longer time. All right, there are some that you definitely know that this is outside your reach. I know people that don't like to hear this in the workplace. There are certain things you cannot do. We always want to look for one motivational speaker to say, you can do everything, they trust you. There are certain things you really cannot do. You need as much help as you can get. You most likely maybe be in the driving seat, but you're not necessarily the one driving. You need people around you to drive. You need to understand if there are those kind of tasks, right? Understand your capacity, what you can and what you cannot do, what is within your scope and what is outside your scope. Otherwise, people will keep having scope creep. Before you know, operation is calling you for something that doesn't even relate to you. You don't know why you're there. You have no idea, right? Now, when deliverables follow, you learn how to diffuse those situations. It's hard, it's difficult, right? But you need to, if you want to stay sane, if you want to have a personal life, right? Yeah, you need to. Now, on a final note, something you want to do is you want to seek support. So you want to seek support. You want to seek support from friends, family, colleagues, people who have had experience with this thing. Even like there are people who have been on both sides of this that can even tell you how to better manage this. And I guess that's why you're watching this video, yeah? All right. You also want to seek as much support as you can get, right? And try to filter what gives and what does not give, because not everything would apply to you, your life, or yourself, or your industry, whatever the case may be. So surround yourself with guidance, with emotional support. I remember that this whole thing requires evaluation, and there's certain times in the office where what you also need to define what work-life balance means to you. That's another thing, because what it means to me would not be what it means to you. You need to be able to have a clear articulation of what this means to you. All right, now when you have that, right, you can then proceed with all of these tips, and then you know what applies to you and what is out of your rule book. Discover what makes you happy and how everything should turn out. I think for me that's very, very important for people to do. Now next is you want to take care of yourself. You want to take care of your well-being. You want to be able to sleep. Sleep is not for the weak. Sleep is not for the weak. You need to be able to sleep and recover. And if you're running so many hours, if you're owing nature so many hours, you want to give those hours back. You want to sleep. So say you've had a stressful week, and you take out time on Saturday and just sleep and rest. Because if you do not rest, one time your body's going to ask you to rest, basically, right? You want to go out, you want to party. It's also important, especially if you're an extrovert, right? You want to nurture that part of your life, right? You want to look into it. You want to give it some, spice and all of that. That way you feel put together. And if you're the meditation type, the type that likes meditating, you also want to meditate so that to calm your nerves, to calm yourself, right? And I think that works. Now the best thing about work-life balance is you have to look inwards to what matters to you and understand that this would keep changing. So you have to evaluate yourself from time to time and find out if it's no longer working, and understand that there are times within your work life where you have maybe towards the end of a project where you're trying to wrap up, you could give so much extra time and all of that. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the full length of your career, where some people have gone on years without going on leave. I don't think that's such a good thing. You're entitled to leave for a purpose. Take your leave. Take your leave to travel, to do stuff, to sleep, to don't be that kind of person that when you go on leave you are carrying your laptop with you, because you're carrying your laptop with you, you're attending meetings. The only thing it is that on paper you're on leave, but in reality you're not on leave. Like, no, that doesn't work. That doesn't work for a work-life balance. Yeah. Work-life balance is an ongoing process that requires conscious effort, right? It requires you to constantly evaluate yourself and see what you're doing and what you're not doing. What gives, what takes. That's basically it. Be adaptable based on changing circumstance, right? Be flexible to things, be willing to change. So something else you should do is try to embrace work-life integration, like, right? And I'll explain what I think what that means. I find a way to incorporate personal routines into work and work routines into personal life. It kind of helps. So you could take short breaks from work or during your break to attend to something personal, like a personal stuff. You have a break time, 1 hour for most organizations, to use that time to attend to personal stuff. And there are times where when you're at home and you could use some of your downtime to kind of look at work stuff. It works. I know some people, for their work-life balance, what they do is when there's an extended holiday and they haven't opened their laptop towards the end of the holiday, they try to like shed off some weight, especially when it's a busy period at work, right? You want to shed off some weight off you so that your Monday is not a rolling block. You're not losing your mind on a Monday morning. A lot of people do that, right? If it works for you, it works. Now, finally, you want to delegate and outsource. I know this is not easy and this requires many sometimes, but so for your personal life, you're cooking, you're cleaning, yeah, you want to outsource those activities to give you time to do more, to give you time to be with the people you love, to give you time to do other things that you actually do enjoy doing. So you can outsource your chores, basically, so you don't spend all your time doing chores when you can be doing other things, right? You can pick whatever chore that is. It could be cleaning your house, it could be someone coming to, it could be your dresses. I know a lot of people outsource their dry cleaning, right? So you could outsource it, give it to someone to wash and get back to you, so that just takes it off your hand. But if you're somebody who you cannot afford that, well, you want to find a way to keep your house clean, right? Get a washing machine for your dresses. After all, we're taught that machines make work easier, better, and faster, right? Yes, that's what a washing machine will do for you. You want to get a washing machine to wash your dresses. I like that. You want to cook in batches and put in your refrigerator. So you see, that way it works. Now, when it comes to the work aspect, right, you want to delegate even some tasks at work. You cannot do everything. That's just the basic truth. You cannot do everything. You want to brainstorm with people, right, where you're blocked and all of that. If you are high up and you have people who work under you, want to delegate, let people do other things. It could even be your own project, and you could ask for help. That's what I'm saying. Ask for help from your colleagues, from your friends at work. Ask them for help, and it just helps make our work-life balance better. Now, let me tell you, we're not family, right? We are not a family at work. However, work-life balance is better when your colleagues are sort of your friends. It makes the place more cozy, more interesting for you to work, and reduce, I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, there's that. So you can't just be that person who just wants to disappear, even though there are a lot of people who survive doing that. Like I said, choose what works for you. And so we've come to the end of this video. Please do let me know what works for you in the comment section. How do you balance your work life, right? How do you do it? What has worked for you over time, and has it actually worked? Or are you trying to make it work? You're still stuck in the usual, or you're still stuck in the bubble of work takes time, all my time, or is your personal time eating into your work time, right? Yeah, because the balance is both ways, right? Let me know in the comment section. Now, thank you so much for watching my video. Do not forget to share, like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, guys, right? It's a red button just below subscribe. Like, smash that subscribe button. I also have other videos on my channel. Please do go watch those videos, right? And also do not forget to leave a comment section. Do not forget to leave a comment as you go. Yeah, all right, guys, thank you, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys.